if you have that kind of problem, it's basically a hardware issue. There are very few things that can cause that kind of problem. First of all, you have to consider your RAM, you have to consider your processor, you have to consider your processor fan. There are some things that can make that to happen. So I will take you through most of those things, that how you can resolve such a problem. First thing you need to do, make sure that all your RAM sticks are properly fitted. If your RAM has a problem, it is not properly seated, it has failed, you can never be able to boot. You can never be able to boot into your Windows operating system. No operating system, whether it's Linux that you're using, whatever you're using, you cannot boot into Windows. Your RAM has to be healthy. Your RAM has to be in a good working state for you to be able to gain access into your operating system. So you have to ensure that it is properly fitted. I am going to let you know how you can ensure that your RAM is properly fitted. If you are using a desktop and you are using some expansion slots, you have connected some things to your expansion slots, the tendency that will also cause your system not to be able to boot into Windows. So you have to ensure that they are properly fitted. Computing issues in computer is always troubleshooted step by step. You start from the least to the greatest likely issue. You start from the least until you get to the greatest likely issue. Now, so the first thing you need to do is to ensure that your RAM is properly fitted. Once you do that, try and boot again. If it boots, then you're successful. But if it does not, what you need to do again, still with the RAM, pull out your random access memory and just clean it. Just clean the RAM, whether on your clothes. If you're bothered about your clothes getting stained or something, just use a wrap. Just make sure the pins are cleaned. And once you do that, you're going to just fit it back into where you took it out again, and try and see if it's going to boot. If it does, good for you. But if it doesn't, still take the RAM out, because this kind of issue is always between your RAM, your processor, your RAM, your processor. So take the RAM out again and fix it in another slot. If you are using, some desktops have like 4 slots, like 4 different slots for RAM. Some laptops have 2, some have 3, some have 4 too. But so just pick it out from where it is presently affixed, and install the RAM on another slot and see if it boots through. So what I am going to do for you now, because I don't know if you are the lady that called me, she told me that she can aptly open her system and bring out her RAM, which was very, very much impressive. It was very impressive to hear that she could do that. So in case you cannot, it's something that you can do. You don't need anybody to help you do that. Even if you have a knife in your house, just open the back of your laptop. I will show you how you can do it, because you're not going to open all the screws on the back of your system. There are some screws, few screws you just bring out, and just bring out the RAM and clean it. So I will take you to my computer and I will show you how you can make it happen. So come with me to my system. So I'm going to show you how you could take out your RAM, clean it, and reinstall it to help you troubleshoot a situation where you couldn't boot into your operating system. So now this is a laptop. I'm assuming that this is your laptop. Okay, this is a screwdriver. Now you can use a knife. If you have a knife in your house, you can still use a knife. So any sharp object that you have that can actually open this, you can use it. Now if you look at this, that screws at the edge of this laptop, it's not necessary for you to go there. So it's a sign that shows where the RAM is installed. So this is where the RAM is installed, and this is just one screw that is there. It's just one screw that is there. So many systems will always give you an indication to let you know that this is where the RAM is. So if I look at this laptop now, this is where the wireless module is. This is where the hard drive is. It's all indicated with signs. This is where the battery is. It's all indicated with signs. On the back of this laptop is also an indication of where the RAM is installed. So I am going to use a screwdriver. I am going to open it and I will show you. So okay, as easy as that. This is the RAM, and it can be a culprit in that problem you are having. So you can see it's properly installed. So all you need to do is to pull this iron out, and you will release the RAM. I pull the other side out too, and the RAM is out. This is it. This is exactly what can cause that problem. So all I now need to do is to clean the pins. So I can clean it on my cloth. But if you don't want to stain your clothes, you can use a rack around you. You don't have to use your clothes. Don't say I asked you to use your clothes. You can use any rack. Just make sure that you clean the tip of the rack, and do not try as much as possible to hold it like this. Don't touch these other components. Just hold it like this and dust the pins. So then reinstall it again. Reinstall it again. Then snap it in. Just push it in, and the straps will hold it back to its place. So once you do that, you attempt to boot your computer again. Then so hopefully your computer might boot, if that was the problem. So I have tried it many times. I've had the kind of issue that lady had many times on my computer, and I just brought this out and I dusted the RAM, and the computer booted up again. So you could also try it. But if it goes beyond this, it goes beyond you taking this out and putting it in another slot. It goes beyond you even trying. Maybe you had a spare chip of this, and you tried it, still doesn't work. Then you have to exhaust other options. So that's it. Once I'm done, I just screw it back to its place. Make sure you screw it back to its place. Anything can do this. A knife, any sharp object that can access that screw can open it, and you're done. Another culprit to this kind of issue is your processor fan. So if you are using a laptop or a desktop, if you're using a laptop, it's easy for you to hear that your fan is not spinning. Just listen to your vents beside your laptop. You hear whether your processor fan is spinning or it stays. Just boot your system. When you're booting a computer newly, definitely the fan must spin. Definitely the fan must spin. So if you do that and you are not hearing your fan spinning, there is a likelihood that there could be a fan issue. If your fan has a problem, your processor will not start, because if your processor starts, it is putting your system at risk, because processor heaps up in the processor, working, processing different items that are building up on the computer. So as it keeps running, as it keeps moving, it's getting heat up. So if your processor fan is faulty, if your processor fan has an issue and you do not know about it, my brother, it is going to affect you booting into your system. Your processor will not start. So what you need to do is listen to your vents. If it's a laptop, it's very easy to hear. If it's a desktop, you may have to open to ensure that it is spinning. So listen to your vents as you are just starting. The vents is just beside your system. You just hear the fan spinning and just hear some sound, and you know that your fan is working properly. Once your fan is spinning and your system is still not booting, you now need to just, that is if you are sure your RAM is working well and you're sure you have seated your RAM properly, you know, you have to like take out the fan, and there's something that is called a blower. It's like it's a hardware that is used to blow dust out of the computer. So you may start with that. If you don't have it, there's some technicians that might have it, and it's very cheap. It's something that everybody should have, because once in a while you need to like blow dust out of your equipment, blow dust out of your television, blow dust out of your processing equipment, whatever you have as that can accumulate dust. You need a dust blower. So if you have a dust blower around you, you can just pick it up and blow the dust out of the fan. Just plug it into power, blow the dust out of the fan, and insert it back again. You know, if it works, good for you. Then you also have to ensure that the computer is supplying power to the fan. So, I mean, these are some few things. It may not really cost you to, but just pick out, just unplug the fan from its fitting on your board. And I'm talking about desktop now. I'm not talking about laptops. You know, because laptop, you need to open too many things to get to the fan. So I wouldn't advise you to go into opening your laptop to get to your fan. Just listen when it comes to laptop. Listen to your vent and be sure that it is actually spinning. But in the case of a desktop, open your system and go into your system. Listen to your fan, monitor your fan, take it out, blow the dust out of it, ensure that there's power that is supplied to it. Now, different desktops have different form factors. A form factor simply means the shape and size of a computer equipment. You know, the shape and size of a computer equipment. So there are different kinds of form factors. There's ATX, there's AT, and there are different kinds of form factors. So the way my desktop is may not be the same way your desktop is. You know, the way my desktop was designed by the manufacturer may not be the same way. So the screwing, the fittings, the shape, the size is maybe different. So what you need to do is just know that you just study your own system, your desktop, look at it very well, know where the screws are, and you know, unscrew the laptop desktop and monitor your fan and be sure that the fan is spinning properly. Then you are good to go. So I have mentioned two things. First of all, start with the RAM. Then the next thing you need to do is your processor. Next thing that you must consider in this case is your processor. Your processor itself. If you have brought out the RAM, you have fitted it into a new slot, you have cleaned your RAM, and probably if you had a spare RAM you have also used and it's still not booting, and you have gone to your processor fan, it's spinning, it is working, then the next thing that you must do is to look at your processor. Now, if you're using a laptop, you can't do this by yourself. Get a technician, because it has to be opened and you have to get to where the board is. If you're using a desktop, it's possible you can do it by yourself. All you have to do is open the back of your desktop, take the fan out of the processor area. Don't unplug it from your motherboard. Allow it to stay affixed to your motherboard, but just make sure that you can access the processor. Now, this is what I do as most times if I have this kind of issue and I have passed through the different steps I have told you. What you now need to do is to just make sure that your processor is processing. And how do you do that? You get to your system. Let's assume you're using a desktop, or if you're using a laptop and you can open it down there. Just get to your system, go to where your processor is, take the fan, you know, just unscrew the fan out of the processor area, and keep it aside. Don't unplug it from the motherboard. Allow it to remain spinning. Power your system. It is. I know it is a bit technical, but I believe that you could still do it. Power the computer. Just power the computer. Don't plug the monitor. Don't plug anything. Just let there be a power supply to the desktop. So what you now do is that when you take the fan out and power the system, put your finger on top of the processor area. When you do that, just feel to be sure that there is heat on that processor. There's no processor that is processing that will not generate heat. There's no working processor on a computer that is working that will not generate heat. They are always very hot because of their level of work. So what you need to do is place your finger on top of your processor and feel it for some time. If you do that and there is heat, just be sure that your processor is working. You are so sure of it and you know that it is working. But if you place your finger on top of that processor and you feel no heat, you put it there for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you cannot feel any heat on top of your fingertips, then you can be rest assured that your processor is not working. And if your processor is not working, there's nothing you can do about it. You have to replace the processor. You have to buy, and they're always very expensive. Processors is almost like buying a new motherboard. They're very expensive, especially the current processors, Core i5, Core i7. They're very expensive. So you have to think of either replacing the processor or you replace the entire board if you're not sure of, if you just want everything to come fresh. But if your processor is bad, there's nothing you can do about it. You can never boot into your operating system. Your computer will receive power, you see power, and you are sure that the battery is charging, you are sure that there is power to this system, but it's not coming on. You cannot put into your system. The next thing that you can do, which is not a primary factor to this kind of thing happening to you, that's your computer not booting, it powers or not booting. The next option you can exhaust. I told you, issues with computer needs troubleshooting. Just troubleshoot. The next thing that you need to do is to reset your CMOS battery. Just reset your CMOS. It can cause that problem. There's a tendency that your CMOS, can clog up, and it can cause that kind of issue. Just reset your CMOS. And how do you reset your CMOS? Resetting your CMOS simply means locate where it is. A CMOS is a small round battery that sits on your motherboard. It's very easy to locate it on your desktop. When you open the back of your desktop computer, you can see the CMOS battery very, very conspicuous. But on laptop computers, it may not be so easy to locate it, but it's there. So technician can easily open it and access the CMOS battery for you. So if you're using a desktop, I'm just letting you know what you can do. Take the CMOS battery out and keep it for at least 5 minutes. At least 5. Ensure that the computer is powered off before you do this. The CMOS battery is one battery that ensures that even if your computer is powered off, it makes sure that your system retains the settings of your primary settings, the primary settings of your computer, so that when you boot up, it takes up that setting, and you don't have to do fresh setup again in the BIOS. You don't have to do a fresh setup in the BIOS. The BIOS is the full meaning of BIOS is basic input-output system. So every computer has a BIOS. Every single computer you come across has a BIOS. As we go on on every day of computer, you get to know most of these things. So every computer has it. So the CMOS battery retains all your settings. So you don't have to boot up and we're going to do fresh setting again, set up different things on BIOS. So when you take up your CMOS, you take out your CMOS, it resets the settings of your computer. You reset it and you keep it for 5 minutes. Then you fix it back up again and boot the system again. So I hope that this could solve your problem. So I thank you for being with us on Everyday with the Computer today. If you have any issues, if you have any challenges on Everyday with or if you have any challenges with your computer, just get on our Facebook page or Twitter. Just leave a message for us, and we'll look at how we can help you resolve that problem. We'll definitely look at it. If you want to access more of the video, just get on our website, and the videos are there for you. They're actually hosted on YouTube, so you can easily download them if you have the right software. You can download them. You can look at them at any point in time you want to. So you just visit our website, get on our Facebook page or Twitter, leave a message for. Just don't suffer alone when you come with. It has to do with computer. Whatever you have as an issue, you want to optimize something, you want to maximize your computer, anything we would like to do, let us know about it on our Facebook page, and we'll work towards seeing how we can help you to achieve your objective. It may not be me. I have friends around that can help you get it done, both on the internet and right here in New York. So I have friends around. If it may not be me, if it goes beyond me, there are many people I know that can help resolve some issues for you. So all you need to do is just leave a message for us. I'll look at it and we'll see how we can, help you resolve that particular issue. So don't just keep your computer without making use of it. Whenever this program comes up, come with your computer so that you can go through the different steps that we are going to take you through, and it's going to enhance your knowledge. And you never can tell where it can take you. Thank you for being with us on the program. I look forward to seeing you again this same time and this same station next week. And I thank you.